player disappearing. These are the scariest moments in football history. And first, the time one of the nicest players in football history became the most hated.
Gomez is from behind by Son. His foot has turned completely the other way. Son himself is pretty upset by it. In an awful injury for Andre Gomez.
Man, you could tell Son had no intentions of hurting Gomez, and he just couldn't hold back his emotions. Damn. But what happened to Chelsea's John Terry had the whole football world in shock, because his scariest moment came after he nearly lost his life. On the 27th of February 2007, Arsenal and Chelsea were facing each other in the League Cup final, and in the 56th minute, Abu Dhabi would accidentally do something deadly.
Chance here. They haven't cleared it.
The kick made him swallow his tongue, which basically made it impossible for Terry to breathe. Fortunately, though, medical assistance was quick to help him out, and he was given an okay to leave the hospital just a day later. At least there were people there to help Terry out. But what if I told you another player's scariest moment was him surrounded by men with knives? See, it all started when former Arsenal star Mesut Ozil and Sead Kolasinac were eating lunch before their preseason tour. And with them, they not only had watches worth up to $200K, they were also driving a $160,000 G-Wagon. So when Ozil and his wife got into the car, Kolasinac was completely alone as an easy target. That's when two criminals jumped him.
Give me your money right now. Come on, bitch. Come on now. I said this.
Yeah, Kolasinac really put his own life at risk just to protect his friend and his wife. And honestly, that's something that would have him respected by everyone. Unlike this next one. Because what if I told you that one of the GOATs was close to losing his life? See, ever since Cristiano Ronaldo joined Manchester United back in 2008, he had a thing for fast cars. And after just 6 years in professional football, he had cars worth up to $3 million. But on the 8th of January 2009, Ronaldo woke up to multiple texts from coaches and teammates asking him about his whereabouts. Yeah, Ronaldo had overslept, so he quickly got dressed and started driving to the training center. All of a sudden, this happened. Cristiano lost control of his car, and the thing hit the wall so hard it was pretty much unrecognizable.
It looks like a crash scene from an action movie and is reminiscent of the images in Paris where Princess Diana lost her life. But this car belongs to perhaps the best-known footballer in the world, Manchester United's Cristiano Ronaldo.
This after he crashed into a metal barrier in a tunnel near Manchester Airport at around 10 o'clock this morning.
And the fact that Ronaldo got away without a single scratch is a damn miracle. But to be honest, Ronaldo was lucky he controlled his own destiny, because another football player had zero control over what happened. See, when Tom Lockyer retired at the prime of his career, it left a lot of football fans confused. I mean, the dude was only 29 and playing in the Premier League. But on the 5th of June 2023, during a playoff championship final, things would take a wild turn. See, Tom was starting in the midfield just like usual, but in the earlier minutes of the game, Tom's heart would slowly start to beat out of rhythm, and in the 8th minute, his body couldn't take it anymore. Yeah, Tom was seconds away from dying, but fortunately the medics made it just in time to save his life.
First and foremost, how are you?
No, I'm doing well. Yeah, no, thanks for asking. It's been a mad week or so, but yeah, I've had the all clear yesterday, and I'm all good moving forward.
So with Tom getting the all clear, he was ready to get back on the field and give Luton fans his all. But that would turn out to be his biggest mistake, because on the 15th of December 2023, in a Premier League game versus Bournemouth, things would get even worse.
We're not showing the agonising moment. Luton's captain collapsed after 59 minutes. Luton and Bournemouth players called for help. Medics rushed on to treat the 29-year-old. As fans from both teams watched on in anguish at Bournemouth's Vitality Stadium.
And it's one of those situations where we all just hope for the best.
They chanted the Welsh defender's name and applauded as he was carried off.
Yeah, this was not your average heart attack. Tom Lockyer was dead for 2 minutes and 40 seconds before being brought back. So doctors had no other options but to install a device that would always monitor Tom's heart rate in case something like this would ever happen again.
So my defib sits in there, as you can see it's, and then there's a wire that runs across here and then up to the heart in case it ever needs to go off. Yeah, so that's constantly monitoring my heart rate, and if it goes outside certain parameters, it's designed to give me a shock.
I mean, you gotta respect Tom for giving football a second chance, even after almost losing his life the first time. Man, Tom Lockyer is really a champion in every football fan's heart. But another player refused to retire. See, Petr Cech's life was about to change completely.
Yeah, so I don't really remember.
Cech was playing his second season with the Blues, and coming off an historic season, he wanted to continue his crazy form. I mean, it's never been a secret that Cech's one of the greatest goalkeepers in football history. But what if I told you he could have been even better? See, on the 14th of October 2006, Petr Cech would almost lose his life.
Petr Cech having to come out quickly. I think he took a little bit of a knock there from Steve Hunt, who's probably a little eager to make his point in his first Premiership start.
After the incident, Cech was forced to stay in the hospital for multiple days.
The honest thing is that I kept losing memory. So basically, I woke up, everybody explained to me what happened. In 15 minutes, I couldn't keep up anymore, so I fell asleep again, woke up, couldn't remember anything. And that's the part I remember, this is the first time, just before my memory came back, I remember being like, it's even an absurd, if it's something you've never lived, and you never experienced, you would never really feel that. But, imagine you are on the bed in the hospital, and the doctor keeps coming and asks you your name, people around, the day, the month, the year, which country you are. And it's something is the easiest question. All your life, you knew the answer. And suddenly he asks you and you go, like the simplest question. And you couldn't answer. I couldn't answer. I didn't know. I just couldn't recall anything.
Now, coming back from a head injury that was close to ending your life really took a toll on Cech. So Chelsea, the Premier League, and doctors had to come up with some sort of protection for him to be able to play football. In the end, though, he kept playing for another 13 years, winning multiple Premier League and Champions League titles. But not every scary moment involves players. Like the time fans almost died in the stands. Right after Lille scored a goal against Omnia in a League One game back in 2017, the supporters went crazy with their celebration. But since there was only a small safety barrier holding them, it eventually collapsed. Now, some fans were lucky enough not to get any injuries, but out of the 29 fans that were hurt, 5 of them were seriously hurt. Thankfully, everyone survived. But this next scary moment had a player's family held hostage. See, it all started when criminals in Paris started tracking every move Di Maria would make. And considering the cars he would drive, he would be easily recognizable on the street. After following him home after practice, the criminals learned his address and how many people were in the house. Now, all that was left was waiting for PSG to play a game where Di Maria would be featured. And on the 14th of March 2021, the masked criminals would pull up to Di Maria's driveway and start pointing guns at his wife and kids and demand everything. News quickly started breaking out, and then sporting director Leonardo quickly informed the manager who subbed Di Maria off. However, the criminals managed to flee the scene with $500,000